There are moments in life when loving someone hurts in a way that feels almost holy, a quiet ache that lives beneath your ribs, born from watching someone you care for drift into a darkness you cannot pull them out of. You reach for them with everything you have, your words, your presence, your love, yet none of it seems to break through the walls they've built to survive their pain. And in that helplessness, your heart breaks not for yourself, but for the tenderness and light they cannot see within their own soul. But love does not end where your hands can no longer reach. When your voice grows small against the weight they carry, lift their name into the realm where gentle forces gather. Ask the angels, those unseen guardians of the weary, to go where you cannot go, to sit beside them in the silence you cannot enter, to whisper into the deep places your words cannot reach. We are here with you. We will not give up on you. Don't give up on yourself. And trust that even in their darkest hour, those whispers find their way, settling like soft light in the cracks of their hurting heart. For no one is ever as alone as they feel, and sometimes the love we send through prayer is the very thing that keeps a soul from falling apart. Hold hope gently, love from where you stand, and believe that the angels are doing what you, in your beautiful humanness, wish so desperately you could do.
You are allowed to be proud of yourself even if no one else sees the work. There's a kind of strength that grows in the shadows. The kind that doesn't need an audience, a spotlight, or a single witness. It's the strength of a person who keeps showing up for their own becoming, even when nobody is clapping, even when the room is empty, even when the world is silent. You have to be proud of yourself even if no one else sees the work, because the most meaningful transformations happen quietly. In the private choices you make, in the battles you face behind closed doors, in the tiny habits you build that no one will ever praise. It's not the recognition that shapes you. It's the resilience. It's the unseen persistence. It's the way you refuse to give up on yourself when no one is cheering you on. So celebrate the invisible victories. Honor the effort that only you know about. Stand tall in the progress no one else can measure. One day the world may notice, but even if it doesn't, remember, your worth is not determined by their eyes. It's rooted in your courage, your commitment, and the yet powerful work you've done in the deep.
Life doesn't move at the same pace for everyone. What feels easy to one person might take everything for someone else. We all have different strengths, battles, and circumstances shaping our path. So instead of comparing, try understanding and appreciate how uniquely everyone is doing their best. Useful gem. The gentle rhythm of being life is not a shared racetrack. It is a tapestry woven in a million different hues, where every thread follows its own essential design. We often look at another's progress, their effortless stride, their quiet success, and forget that the very road they walk is paved with struggles we cannot see and gifts we do not possess. The truth is, life simply does not move at the same pace for everyone. What may feel like an easy flowing river for one soul might be a relentless uphill climb, demanding everything for another. Each of us carries a hidden map of past battles, unique strengths, and circumstances that define our starting point and shape every step we take. So let us quiet the urge to compare our journey to someone else's highlight reel. Comparison is the thief of joy and the architect of unnecessary pain. Instead, let us cultivate understanding. Let us look upon others and ourselves with a gentle, appreciative gaze. When we see someone trying, regardless of how far they seem to have gotten, let us simply acknowledge the beautiful, unwavering truth. Everyone is doing their best, given the hands they were dealt and the mountains they must climb. That effort, that perseverance, is what truly deserves our highest appreciation. May we find freedom and peace in recognizing the unique, sacred rhythm of every life. There's a quiet kind of love that reveals itself not in celebrations, but in the stillness you don't know how to explain. It shows up in the people who hear what you're not saying, who recognize the soft dimming of your spirit long before you speak a word. Pay attention to them. The ones who notice your silence, not just your smile, because smiles are easy to see, they shine bright and ask for nothing. But silence is a different language. It hides, it hesitates, it aches, and only those who truly care will learn to read it. These are the hearts that slow down for you, that check in when you withdraw, that gently ask, "Are you okay?" Even when you've built walls around the truth. They don't need your laughter to stay. They stay because they care enough to witness the quieter parts of you. The ones you rarely let the world touch. Keep those souls close. They are the ones who love you in the spaces where words fall short. Some people apologize just to regain access, not to repair the harm. Listen to their words but watch how they move. Useful Jen. The act of apology is meant to be a moment of humble accountability, a soul reaching out to truly mend a tear in the shared fabric. Yet, sometimes, the words are simply a transactional key. A performance designed not to lift the weight of harm from the injured party, but purely to regain access to the relationship or the comfort it provides. This is why mere listening is not enough. We must become students of movement. When the words are smooth but the actions remain unchanged, when the focus immediately pivots back to the apologizer's discomfort, the message is clear. The intention is self-serving regret, not genuine repair. When the words are smooth but the actions remain unchanged, when the focus immediately pivots back to the apologizer's discomfort, the message is clear. The intention is self-serving regret, not genuine repair. A sincere move toward healing is always accompanied by humility, patience, and visible, consistent effort to ensure the harm cannot happen again. A sincere move toward healing is always accompanied by humility, patience, and visible, consistent effort to ensure the harm cannot happen again. The quiet prayer of the helping hand. As the festive glow begins to shimmer and the year draws its breath towards its close, our hearts often turn to thoughts of giving. Yet true offering is not found in the wrapping paper or the loud pronouncements, but in something far deeper, a quiet, powerful feeling that lives in the space between our thoughts. The greatest prayer is not always spoken, it is an attitude, a deep, burning desire to connect and to help. If our words are hollow, offered like a chore, or a cold duty, they carry no light. Think of it. Would you truly wish to converse with someone whose only pleasure is in leaving you? Words without the warmth of love are nothing but empty echoes. But when that love is present, suddenly the ordinary world transforms into a sanctuary. This coming season, let us remember that the truest form of worship is service. Every genuine effort, every moment of concentration poured forth from a full heart becomes a prayer. The gentle hand coaxing reverence into the blank page, the scientist patiently seeking truth, the neighbor helping with a garden project, they are all giving praise to something higher. The physician who leans in with tenderness and no prejudice, ministering to the sick and believing deeply in our shared human story, is offering a beautiful devotion. Service is prayer. It is the act of ministering to the needs of the people. So, as the bells begin to ring, pause and ask your soul, what have I done lately to truly serve humanity? Perhaps you held a child's frustration while they struggled with homework. Maybe you poured time into a neighbor's daunting task, or the warmth of a meal for someone hungry. You might have offered the quiet shelter of counsel to a troubled friend, or given a piece of yourself through art. If that act, whether grand or small, was born from your highest motives driven by genuine caring, kindness, and love, then know this. That active service was a prayer, a pure offering. May we all approach this season not just seeking gifts, but seeking opportunities to give this kind of soul-deep service. Walk in your light.
The more chances you give someone, the less respect they'll start to have for you. They'll begin to ignore the standards that you've set because they'll know another chance will always be given. They're not afraid to lose you, because they know no matter what, you won't walk away. They get comfortable with depending on your forgiveness. Never let a person get comfortable disrespecting you.
There is a quiet, profound truth in recognizing that self-respect is the boundary of love. When we continuously extend forgiveness without corresponding change, we risk transforming kindness into an expectation, and our value into a commodity. This generous nature, when unbalanced, can unwittingly teach others that the standards we cherish are optional because the consequence of disrespect, losing us, has been completely removed. They become comfortable in their disregard, knowing our commitment is a perpetual safety net, regardless of their actions. To truly honor ourselves and the relationship, we must remember that sometimes the greatest act of love is to reclaim our dignity and refuse to allow disrespect to settle in and become the norm.
Stress, anxiety, and depression are caused when we are living to please others. When the days become heavy with a weight you can't quite name, pause and ask whose air you are truly breathing. When the days become heavy with a weight you can't quite name, pause and ask whose air you are truly breathing. Stress, anxiety, and the quiet ache of depression often whisper a single difficult secret. We are living to please others. Stress, anxiety, and the quiet ache of depression often whisper a single difficult secret. We are living to please others. This is the great, exhausting betrayal of the self. We start shaping our words, our choices, even the beating of our own heart, not by our inner compass, but by what we believe will earn a nod, a compliment, or acceptance from the world outside. We become brilliant actors, performing a role designed by others, while the true self stands backstage, tired and unheard. This constant performance is a silent erosion. When you spend all your energy trying to fit into someone else's mold, there is none left to nourish your own growth. The anxiety is the sound of your inner voice screaming for recognition. The stress is the friction created between who you pretend to be and who you truly are. To heal is not about fixing a flaw. It is about choosing to become an honest, sturdy witness to your own soul. It is the brave, slow work of turning inward and finding the simple, profound courage to say, I will live my story now, not the one written for me. When you stop seeking approval, the weight lifts, and you discover that your own peace is the only audience that truly matters. Create a video for YouTube using exactly this script. Be with someone who puts their phone down and listens to how your day really went. The gift of being seen. To be truly present is one of the rarest, most soulful gifts we can offer another human being. It's not just about sharing space. It's about making space within yourself. When someone sets their phone aside, that simple, silent act is a magnificent declaration. It whispers, right now, in this moment, nothing on that little screen holds more weight or meaning than the landscape of your heart. Being listened to, really listened to, feels like sunlight after a long rain. It's the moment when the weight of the world you've been carrying finally finds a safe place to rest. They are not just hearing the words about traffic jams or meeting deadlines, they are listening for the tune of your day. The subtle sigh hidden beneath the simple report, the sparkle of small triumph, or the weary edge of a lingering stress. To be with someone who demands nothing less than the truth of your day and offers their full, undivided self in return is to know the deepest comfort. It's the profound, quiet joy of being truly seen, understood, and anchored in a connection that says, you matter, and your story is the only story I need to hear right now.
Today's reflection. In the quiet moments of reflection, it becomes clear that we are all travelers passing through this world, souls on a journey with no map except the one unfolding beneath our feet. We arrive with nothing but our hopes, our questions, and the fragile spark of possibility, and when our time here is finished, we leave behind no possessions, only the echoes of our laughter, the warmth of our presence, and the traces of love we offered along the way. Every person we meet, every bond we form, becomes part of our inner landscape. Friendships soften us, heartbreak reshapes us, and love, both given and received, teaches us how deeply connected we truly are. Even the moments of struggle carry meaning, leading us toward forgiveness, compassion, and hope. It's as though our paths were sketched long before we learned to walk them, guiding us through storms and sunlight, through moments that felt impossible, and moments that felt like grace. Perhaps nothing in our journey is random. Maybe every encounter, every crossroads, every whispered intuition is a thread in a larger picture we cannot yet see. And maybe one day, when life's mysteries finally unfold, we will understand how perfectly each piece fit together, how every joy and every sorrow shaped who we became. In that light of understanding, peace will come, reminding us that we were never wandering aimlessly, but moving with purpose through a universe vast, tender, and infinitely interconnected. Settings. Use appropriate media. Use any clear American voice for speaker 2.
Breaking the inherited silence. There are souls who carry a wound that predates their own memory, for they were born into houses where survival was taught, but gentle love was not. In these homes, chaos was truly the first language spoken, its rhythm sharp and unpredictable, A child learned quickly that to feel was to risk destruction, and so numbness became a shelter, a safer place to hide than the terrifying vulnerability of being truly seen. To disappear was not a choice made one afternoon, but an ingrained, essential skill for staying alive, day after difficult day. For these souls, addiction was never a casual choice or a sudden misstep. It was, tragically, an inheritance, a pattern passed down, not through blood, but through the deep, desperate lessons whispered in the walls. It became the only reliable tool they were given to manage the unmanageable pain of their past, a familiar shadow offering a false sense of control. Yet, here lies the ultimate, profound truth. That cycle, though heavy and heartbreaking, is not eternal. The moment a person turns to face that inheritance, the moment they begin to learn a new language of self-compassion and presence, they perform the ultimate act of courage. They break the contract signed by their ancestors. The journey of healing is the conscious, determined refusal to pass the wound down again. That moment of realization, of choosing visibility over disappearance, is the grand, hopeful truth that shines through the hardest inheritance. The story is being rewritten, and the future is being built on ground that is finally steady and intentionally chosen.